What's up guys, Alberto Big Boost here. I don't know what I'm doing, but somehow I forgot for a second time in a row to make an intro for the videos. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about a couple other upgrades to the JC, how to put a couple other parts. I got a really cool green belt that's called Gates Fleet Runner, which is the one that a lot of racers use in Formula Drift. I finally found myself one of those. So I'm providing you with the right part number for that so you can put it on your engine. Then I have a really sweet ignition setup. So I'm gonna be upgrading the factory ignition system to individual coils instead of being a waste spark system. I can still wire up as a waste spark, but I'm gonna be using coil on plug, so each spark plug is gonna have its own dedicated coil. Then I'm also doing something kind of crazy to the E36. I don't know why I'm doing this now, but I already started, so I have to finish it. I went ahead and refreshed the harmonic dampener. I wire wheeled it, cleaned all the rust out. There was a couple rust spots around it. The rubber's still in excellent condition, so this can be reused. If the rubber's deteriorated or dry rotted, then you should replace it. So this one's good. I clean it up, paint it, and then with some whiteout, I marked the line of top dead center. That makes timing the engine a lot easier. Then that mark will line up with the timing marks over here. It then lines up at TDC right here, so it's at 0. And then there's another line over here. Make sure to not mark this one instead by accident, because the one that you want to use is this one. I've always wanted to run one of these nice Gates green belts. So they're called Fleet Runner. And I see these on a lot of FT cars, and I always wonder, how do they get those green belts? So, well, Fleet Runner is a model, but you won't find like a specific green one for JC. So I'm trying to see, based on my measurements, if this part number is gonna work. Now, I don't have AC, so if this belt does work, it's the one that's gonna be used without the AC. So with the AC delete, it's gonna be a shorter belt, which might be this one. Well, looks like we have a winner. This is the right part number. So if you're looking to run one of these cool belts, it's K060739HD. Wow, this thing is really starting to take shape. I don't have the back plate for the timing belt yet, since I have to remove the cams. It's kind of pointless to mount that. This stuff I can just like literally hand tighten the bolt, take it off, take the covers off real quick. I'm gonna leave this alone until I get the Super Tech shims. I want to show you guys one cool thing to get for your JC, and that's to eliminate the whole bulky oil filter housing. Especially if you're using a standalone ECU, you don't need to have the sensor on the stud anymore. You can just put it somewhere else, like on a Mishimoto oil filter sandwich. This one is a thermostatic oil filter sandwich. Thus also it has outlets for an oil cooler, and it's really cool because the oil will circulate through the engine and allow it to warm up quicker. Then once it reaches a certain temperature, it'll open up and allow it to circulate through the oil cooler. From this, I'm gonna have my oil pressure outlet as well as a oil feed for the turbo. Since I have a GE, I don't have the oil supply that's normally found right here. So I'm gonna just run it from one side to the other to feed the engine, so I don't have to drill the whole thing. I have this really nice Vibrant -10 female to male with a 1/8 MPT port to it, so I can install here my oil temperature fitting. I like to apply a fine line of Permatex red thread locker to the threads of the stud. That way when I mount the oil filter sandwiches in this thing, it stays on there. Then when you take your oil filter, it doesn't bring the whole thing with it, because the oil filter is going to thread into this part, and this part threads into the stud. Pretty much put it like this. And it bolts on like this. Oh my god, I put it backwards. So I almost installed this backwards. So let's try again. Put this thing through this side, then bring it over here to the stud, threads right on, I don't know if this will work for you guys, but I lined up the position pretty much right there, so I have like convenient outlets this way, and the oil pressure sensor and feed come this way. And now we top it off with a brand new OEM Toyota oil filter. In this case, the enlarged one, so this is the XL version. You know, since you're running Big Boost, you need a big oil, right? This is a lot easier to access and service than having the filter like all the way over here. Then I installed the vibrant fitting with the 1/8 here, so you can have this facing however you want, to the side or to the front, whatever. We'll figure out once I put more stuff on the engine. Then again, this facing down, it allows you to bring a wrench and service the lines easier instead of having them to the top, which will be a nightmare with the intake manifold installed. Now we can tackle the ignition system. I'm gonna be using NGKs. These are BKR8, and then part number is 2668. These are the same spark plugs that we use on all of our cars. And to top it all off, I'm gonna install the yaris coils. Then to make this install possible, I got this really sweet brackets made by Autosport Engineering, so it makes installing the yaris coils a bolt-on thing. They're also available in like silver, black, purple. So a couple different colors you can choose from. Then I'm gonna gap the spark plugs to 0.19. That's what we use for really high boost, which is what I'm gonna be running with this engine. Now these brackets are labeled front, middle, and rear. So they go in that same orientation. Front, middle one goes here, and rear goes on the back right here. There are some spacers, so obviously the long bolts are gonna hold the bracket with the spacer at the right height, and then the small bolts are gonna hold the coil to the bracket. In order for this to fit perfectly without having to notch the valve covers, and this is a round spacer, I went ahead and clearanced this corner so it fits perfectly against the valve cover without touching. It didn't need that much, just a little bit, and you still have full contact on the bottom. This is what they look installed, so now it's ready for the coils to go in. This installs so easily. Literally place it on the spark plug and then tick. Now the coils are installed. I got 6 brand new pigtails for these, and we're gonna pretty much present like this. There we go. And this is how awesome this thing looks all installed. I can't wait to have the valve covers all powder coated, but I gotta have to wait till the powder comes in because I'm gonna get a nice custom color for these. There's another side shot of the coils. With better spark, you can run more boost and make a lot more power. So let's see if we can push this engine to the limits and make a whole lot of power. You guys probably still wondering, this looks hideous, but I can't put my belt on until I get my lifters. So I'll have to pretty much leave the engine like this. It looks like the wildberry days might be coming to an end. Trying to remove the vinyl of the E36. At least it seems that the sides are cooperating more, since it doesn't see like direct sunlight and it's not metal. I managed to take this whole side off already, but the top is the one that's really cooked, so it's really finicky to remove little by little without it chipping off. I wonder how long it's gonna take to do the whole car. Well, how am I getting myself into right now? Slowly but surely it's coming off. Oh, I spoke too soon. Really? Middle part. I have to pull so hard on this because I'm gonna rip the whole panel off. Well, the sun is gone now, pretty much. At least the real sun now is behind the tree. So I managed to take the top off for the most part. Still a bunch of like glue residue, but at least this stuff should come off maybe with glue gun or something. And then I got this whole panel off. The trunk top part came off. The other part kind of like it broke right at the edge. And then I tried taking this part off, but since the side is on the shade, it does not want to come off one piece. I also managed to take this whole part off and the mirrors. Well guys, yep, I'm gonna have to peel the whole E36 now. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but that's gonna take a minute. In the next video, I should already have the chims. If they're not here, then we might have to do other constructive stuff on the E36. I might just work on the chassis. Maybe a couple other upgrades in other areas of the car that are gonna contribute towards the swap. I hope I was able to teach you guys a couple things today. Please smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome content. Alberto Big Boost here. I'll see you guys on the next video.